Welcome back to this Dark Vengeance battle report, in which Librarian Termiel and the Deathwing are trying to kill the Chaos Cultists and Chosen. It's time for the Deathwing to arrive in Dark Angel's turn 4. I decided to take a risk and put the Deathwing in between the Librarian and the Cultists. I roll for Scatter, and luckily I hit dead on, so they all come in. And here's a close-up of the Deathwing as they stare down those Chaos Cultists. You can cut the tension with a knife. And there's Librarian Termiel hiding behind a wall. I perhaps foolishly decided to move the Librarian out towards the Deathwing squad and move it out 5 inches so they can shoot some Librarian psychic powers at the Cultists. He then uses his Smite psychic power on the Cultists, rolls for leadership and passes. So 46 threes to hit. And only one hit. And here's my reaction. Dave is much happier. That one hit wounds, so it kills one cultist. The Deathwing then shoot at those closest cultists. Here are the Stormbolters needing threes to hit, so only a couple hits. And those two wounds. The Assault Cannon then shoots, and 4 hits, and kills another 4. As I killed most of the squad, they have to do a leadership check, and pass on an 8, so they're good. Chaos, turn 4. The second squad of cultists move up to help out the first squad, followed by Drasnik's Ravagers, also called the Chosen, which also move up 6 inches towards the Librarian. The Chosen then run, and roll a 2, so they get to move up 2 inches. And the farther squad of cultists also run, but they run 6 inches, and run and wrap themselves around the first squad of cultists. Just remember that the Librarian was just out of reach to join that Deathwing squad. And here is what the battlefield looks like from perspective of the Deathwing. As you can see, the 3 waves coming at them. The front squad then decides to shoot at the Librarian. The red representing the autogun. All of them need 4s to hit, so only a few hits. And out of the 4 hits, no wounds. The squad then declares a charge on the Librarian and rolls a 6. The Librarian overwatches, but misses with his 1 shot. However, the 6 is not enough to get them in close combat, so they stay where they are. So now Dark Angels, turn 5. Let's see what the Deathwing can do in close combat. The Deathwing then decide to move up, approaching both squads of cultists, and the Librarian moves up as well to join in with the Deathwing. So now it's 1 squad. They shoot at the larger squad, so the Librarian first shoots with his Librarian Psychic attack, rolls leadership test, and fails. The Stormbolters then go next, and shoot at all of them, and get a bunch of wounds, I believe 3 wounds, followed by the Assault Cannon, 3 hits, and 1 wound. I'm not rolling very well, so I'm checking the dice to make sure that they're not weighted. So all that shooting ends up only killing 4 measly cultists. The squad then declares their assault at the cultist squad that they shot at. Roll a 9 to assault. They then overwatch back, getting 2 hits and 1 wound. I roll my 2+ armor save, and I pass. I decided to do a multi-assault, first on the farther squad and then on the small squad in front. I will lose my combat bonus for assaulting in, but I think it's worth it, that way I get to kill 2 squads at the same time. I decided to issue a challenge with my Librarian, and Dave accepted the challenge with Techvar. So here is what the challenge looked like: Librarian versus Techvar. Librarian hit first, 2 attacks, both hit, but no wounds. My rolling is just pathetic. Techvar hit back, 2 hits, and 1 wound. I roll my 3+ armor save, and I pass. Sergeant Baracula of the Deathwing hits first at initiative 4, 2 hits, and 2 wounds, so 2 cultists die, because it's a power weapon. The cultists then hit back at initiative 3, get a bunch of hits, and out of all those hits, actually roll 4 wounds. I roll 4 armor saves on the Deathwing, and I fail 1, so 1 Deathwing actually dies before getting to hit. Luck is just not on my side. The last Deathwing hits the large squad, gets 2 hits, and only 1 wound. So both squads have to roll leadership checks. The first one passes with a 2, and the second one passes with a 6. I cannot believe Dave's amazing rolling skills. And the cultists and everyone pile in. Chaos, turn 5. Let's see how they can do in close combat. So Dave begins by psyching himself up for the battle. Draznek's Ravagers move up 6 inches to hopefully get in close combat. They declare their assault and roll for distance. But Dave only rolls a 3, which is not enough to get in, and he's a little bit upset. So back to the close combat. The Librarian hits his challenge first. Initiative 4. Gets 1 hit, needing 3s, and 1 wound. So that will kill Techfar. Sergeant Barakiel goes next on the squad. Gets 2 hits, and 1 wound, so 1 more dead cultist. The cultists then go at initiative 3, get 2 hits, and of those 2 hits, 1 wound, which I pass. The remaining Deathwing go at initiative 1, get 4 hits, and those 4 hits, 3 wounds, so 3 more dead cultists. The 1 remaining cultist takes a leadership check, and fails, but the Deathwing can't chase him, so he goes 4 inches back. And the Deathwing consolidate 5 inches, which they move towards Draznek's Ravagers, also called the Chosen. The battle is heating up. Wondering how this match will end? When you're ready, click on the link below to go to part 3 of this Dark Vengeance battle report.